Drogba indirdi ceza. Snyder. Snyder gol! Allah'ım gol! Muslera. Fernando Muslera. Golün adı Muslera. Sarıyoglu. Drogba. This is incredible.
Merhaba and welcome to episode 72 of The Lion's Den, a Galatasaray podcast. Done by the community, for the community. From all around the galaxy, I'm back as your host, Samet. I'm back with the GOAT, the Oracle, the Mobster, the what is he not? From New York, America, Emre, my boy, the best host of The Lion's Den. I have to give it to him.
Aww.
Did a great job during my absence and always does a great job during my absence. And I'm also here with, Yasin.
Yo, that's so funny because I'm like, damn, that's a crazy ass intro for Emre. There's no chance in hell he's gonna give me anything nearly as nice as that. And
maybe you're the oracle here.
No, I consider it an improvement, Emre, because he didn't say Fenerbahçeli Yasin, so I'll take that for what it is.
I was getting there.
Little
you
steps,
cut me
baby
off.
steps.
Yeah, you cut me off, Yasin. Because a few episodes in, like when I wasn't there was nobody to really defend Galatasaray when you put out the bullshit that you're spewing sometimes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Neither am I, but it's nice to fuck around with you.
I missed this.
Yeah, how you lads doing?
Doing good.
Good,
Doing
man.
good.
Good. I'm actually super curious to just right away get to know your experience because for the listeners who don't know, Samet was at the United game this week as well as what other game did you see, Samet? You saw 2 games, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to Alanyaspor and then went to Manchester United game indeed.
Yeah, that was probably an insane experience. We'll talk about the game, but Samet, you met with some of our listeners as well. Unless Emre has something else that he wants to start off with, that's what I want to hear about first. Tell us about your couple days there and how that experience was, if you remember anything, that is.
I mean, in terms of meeting people, I'm very social, right? I'm good like to hang out with, and I have to say, like, this is how we met as well, right? I've had 0 bad experiences meeting Galatasaray fans. It's just they're all amazing people in general. Like, you guys are amazing. The guys I met are amazing. The listeners are amazing. Like, I've had 0 negative vibes from anyone that was a Galatasaray supporter. Can't say that for other types of supporters, but yeah, no, I'm serious. Like,
Well, you had a good experience with Yasin, right? And you call him a Fener supporter, so that's a lie.
I knew. I thought someone might say something about that, but of course, Emre.
Yeah, Yasin is different, man. Yeah, I have to give it to him. Like when I hug this guy, he's all sweaty and shit. So I don't know,
Bro. This guy. Can you give some context at least for the people who are listening for the first time?
What do you really want me to give the context? Because it was in bed when I hugged you. Oh god.
Yeah, this
you were saying.
No, dude, that's you can't just leave it at that. That's fucking weird, bro. It was a day that we were in Istanbul for a few days, obviously, last year watching the game together. And this guy left super early, and it was during the winter, so it was cold outside, but the heat was blasting, I guess, in the Airbnb. I woke up fucking hot as hell. I was sweating, and the first thing I did was hug this guy goodbye, and I guess that's what he fucking remembers of all things. And I was sweaty when he hugged me, but
it was after the Barca game, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. There's your context. Anyway,
Okay,
I mean, it doesn't matter. We're everything friendly community, everything friendly podcast here. Where were we? What did you ask?
You were saying something about explaining everything.
No, my wife found it weird at first, just meeting up with randos, but she's quite used to it now. And funny story, I went to the Alanyaspor and Manchester game with someone I met during the celebrations against Fenerbahçe. Shout out to you, Jawad. I know you're listening as well. Basically, he's a schoolmate from 10 years, 12 years ago. that I, like, out of all places, he recognized me in a breakfast joint in Istanbul. And we kept talking, and that's where we decided, okay, yeah, well, I'm going as well. Let's do it together. Let's go to the games. Yeah, so went with him, met up with a few listeners. Shout out to Lemon, Alpaslan. Was fun seeing you as
The
well.
GOAT.
Indeed. What else?
Didn't you say that you met an individual, a listener on the train or something like that, if I'm remembering correctly?
So that's crazy. So okay. So we have a Twitter account. I usually post on there, and for our 1905th follower, I was like, I don't like doing these giveaways, but I'm just gonna show appreciation to followers. And 1905th follower was a great deal because Galatasaray's year of start. So I messaged this guy Kerem Elender, and I said, "You won. I'm gonna send you a cap with 1905." I was like, "Oh, whoa!" He was like, "Wow!" Out of nowhere, this happens to him, right? So he appreciated it, and he actually donated the amount to a charity organization that would cost me. Send it to him. He got it. Awesome. Kept in touch, and during the Manchester game, when I was going to the stands, I'm in Kuzey Alt. I have a season ticket there. I messaged him and said, "Hey, which stand are you in actually?" And he was like, "I'm in Güney, the other side." It's like, "Oh, that's sad. So we can't meet up," or something like that. So I leave my phone. I go in the metro. I sit down with Jawad, and I look right next to me, and I see this dude. I was like, "Kerem?" He's like, "Yeah, who the hell are you? Like, how do you know me?" I don't show my face a lot, right? On Twitter and stuff, but I do sometimes. And I was like, "It's the Lions Den." It's like, we just talked. I was like, "Holy shit, what the hell?" Out of all places, like, that's just insane. And I recognize his girlfriend as well, which Idil. And they're both the most amazing people. They were just discussing and saying like how they would listen in the car and they would stop in the car and wait until the pod was finished. I was like, that gave me such good feelings as well to see that appreciation and like, and also like what an amazing person this guy is. Like, it was just a random 1905th follower, ends up being an amazing Galatasaray fan, having a season ticket at Güney Alt, going to the games, and then seeing him there live. Yeah, no, it's I love bringing communities, people together, and to be able to do this, not on a large scale, even if it's just a small scale, to see people and make them happy, be happy as well. Yeah, shout out to all of you, man. We love you all. Yeah, no, that's an awesome story.
Yeah.
Love it, bro. Love it.
So yeah, nothing else, I guess, besides that stuff.
Didn't you make a little cameo?
Oh yeah, yeah. So so that's the last story then. So Bilal Soydaş, it's a guy who I follow, a YouTuber who I follow for like since COVID times. He was doing videos of going to the stadium and shooting the atmosphere and sharing the atmosphere for all the games. So if you have not seen him, go to YouTube, type in his name, Bilal Soydaş, and you'll see his amazing work. So I got into touch with him as well. And yeah, when I was at, I think the Alanyaspor game, was talking to him. He was there. I was there in Kuzey Alt. And he came to me and said hi. Great guy, real genuine person, really loves Galatasaray, and the work he does is amazing as well. Anyway, he said, "You know what? Yeah, come watch with us the second half." So Alanyaspor game, I went and watched with him and his crew. His crew is always also amazing, and ended up in his videos, right? First at Alanya game and then Manchester, and then a few clips. So if you watch it, you'll see like we're cheering, all the emotions and everything, which is awesome because now I get to look back at my experience in his videos as well. Aside from just like when I'm at home, it's still awesome because I get to feel that emotion through his videos. And this time I was in his videos. So yeah, like I said, I don't like to go on a lot. I find myself cringe when I'm on a camera. but especially because he was like the Manchester game. Yeah, you say some English words. I'm like, okay, I throw some English words out there, and it's like just so cringe because my Turkish is fine. We speak Turkish as well. Yeah, it's hilarious. No,
Mine is not good. Don't speak for me.
we're gonna do the next
Mine is
episode
horrible.
in Turkish, Emre.
Oh, I won't be there, good sir.
Nah, come on, adiyorum.
If we're gonna do an episode in Turkish, I feel like we need to get like a big name Turkish analyst or something
Mhm.
on an episode like that. Maybe Ur.
Fatih Terim.
Oh,
Terim,
sure.
You have him on speed dial, Emre?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
do.
I can
I'm
look
gonna
that
ask
up.
Okan Hoca.
Okay, yeah, we can do something. Yeah, we gotta prepare though. We need more time. Anyway, so yeah, what have you guys done while I was gone?
Do your job for you. That's what we did. I'm just kidding, I'm kidding.
Great episodes, lads.
No, I'm glad
Appreciate
you guys enjoyed it. We've been doing us. I mean, it's cold where we're at, and there's not much to do. So, I mean, we can't just hop on a damn plane and in an hour we're gonna be in another country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not the same here.
Salih
An
was
hour,
spot on last episode with the amount of
Yeah,
hours
yes,
driving.
we actually, we looked it up. It literally takes you to Serbia in like 19 hours.
Yeah, he's the geographic cunt, right? What's it called?
A geolocator, whatever the guy is.
Whatever he does. Yeah. Yeah. Too bad he's
The
not
man
on.
should be working for the FBI, bro.
Yeah. It's crazy. Historian, geographic dude, whatever. Yeah. So good stuff, lads. Good stuff.
So not much really. So I guess we can get into the games, unless you guys have anything else that
Do you have
is
any news?
interesting. Yasin?
I
Nah,
don't think so.
there's-
I don't think there is any new news. There's going to be a lot of news in the next couple of weeks with the transfer window coming up, but in the meantime, it's kind of like a quiet storm, just kind of getting through these games.
Mm-hmm.
It's been hectic. It's kind of nice that there is no crazy news, so the guys are concentrated. At least you would hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But,
you know why? Because all the birds are quiet. And you know why they're so quiet?
Of course.
That's news right there. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, exactly.
You talk about it, Emre, since you brought it up.
Oh, I get the honors. Great.
Yeah.
So, after our 3-3, draw against Manchester United, the team that everyone in Turkey thinks they can beat other than us, right? So the day after that we played, Beşiktaş goes and concedes 5 goals from Club Brugge.
They made
That's
a
apparently
record.
how you yes, a record.
until
Until our Fenerbahce,
broke
friends
that record.
broke that record with a 6-1 defeat to Nordsjælland. I probably screwed the name, sorry to all my Danish listeners. But yeah. Yeah, 6-1. That's like one of their heaviest defeats.
So, Emre, what do we say to that? Galatasaray. Mauro Icardi.
Galatasaray is global, my friend.
Yeah, no.
But that's crazy.
It's insane, man. Because to your point, we tied United 3-3, and there were fans of these other clubs, Fenerbahce and Beşiktaş, saying, "Oh, like 3-3, like that's the best you guys can do. We can score 5 against them." That there was a saying like that, like, "Oh, Fenerbahce Beşiktaş, Manchester United." Yeah, we saw.
we'll beat
we saw-
Bayern.
we saw,
Sure.
we saw what happened. Like, it's surprising and it's not surprising. Again, you would think that Beşiktaş and Fenerbahce this season in Europe, being in the Conference League in the group stages that they are in, that they would be able to kind of carry the coefficient of this league forward to the spot where it really should be. Meanwhile, it seems to be the opposite. We're in the most difficult group, compared to them, and we're actually getting results against very difficult teams, and they're here losing 5-0 at home to Club Brugge and 6-1 away. And they have excuses as well, utanmadan. We have injuries, this, that. It doesn't matter if you have injuries. You're playing against teams that are, not even top 3 or 4 in their domestic leagues, which should not be comparable to the squad and size of the teams that we have. So, I don't know. Once again, Galatasaray showing the difference between them and everybody else in this league. So, props to us.
Yeah. How did you feel after the 6-1 defeat, Yasin?
It's funny because I was actually not aware of that game going on. Like, I knew the game was going on, but I was not keeping track of it. I wasn't near my phone. I forget what I was doing. I think I was working. It was during the weekday, obviously. I had meetings and shit like that. I looked early in the game. I think they were losing like 2-1 or some shit like that. I'm like, like they'll definitely turn this game around as usual. They probably didn't take them seriously and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I come back later and the chat went off. I'm like, I got tagged like 2 times from John. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here?
Eric Benjamin Nigren, his celebration. He came in as a substitute, scored a goal, celebrated with the classic Mauro Icardi.
And he does it 2 more times after
hands
that.
behind the ears, and does it 2 more times. A hat trick. And all 3 celebrations are the devotion to Mauro Icardi, basically.
And you know what's funny? His teammate the day after on Instagram actually posts a GIF of
Confirming
Mauro
it,
Icardi. So it's like, it's definitely a thing.
Everybody just shuts the birds up like immediately. First they say, oh, we'll score this, and then they get this, and then they'll be like, oh no, it wasn't the Mauro Icardi celebration. He did it before or something like that. And then his mate confirms that it's Icardi. So it's like everyone shuts them up immediately. Like, how sad. Like, oh my God, I feel for them. Like, I'm not even happy anymore. Anyway, enough about them. Do you guys remember my Champions League draw simulator?
Yes.
So it was spot on. Bayern, Manchester, Copenhagen, Gala. And I said, I don't fear anyone more than these Scandinavian teams. And what do we have? It's the final game that we need to win.
Yeah. I don't know about that game, bro. We could talk about it towards the end, but I am really concerned about that game.
Yeah, let's do that indeed. If there's no other more news, then
so
let's slowly
let's
go
get
to
into
the Manchester
United
game.
gay.
United gay? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, they are gay. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Who wants to do it?
Well, Garnacho, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Honestly, I don't know what he is, man. He's like a Jeffree Star, or what's it called?
I don't know, because Ziyech took it very personally.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Garnacho for going off in that game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know. Go ahead.
Galatasaray versus Manchester United. Well, obviously, I went with the subway, came there, and everyone had on their seats these communication papers about what we will have to do. There were yellow, black, white papers that we had to hold up, and it basically gave instructions on what to do, when to do it. So before we start, the first 11 hype, anything was not there because of this new announcer. I just want to make that clear. There is a new announcer. The old announcer had some family issues and had to go, and it makes such a big difference. We noticed at the Alanya game, the new announcer was saying like Dries Martens, Nelson Viking, like weird, like incorrect names. And
that's so unprofessional, man.
It's sick.
You know what the problem is, Yasin? The thing is, I hear that they're not being paid well, so they don't stay long. They have like no incentive to do this job because they get paid peanuts, apparently. This is what I hear.
Listen, that might be true, but it's not an excuse for me to not say the correct names the right way. You know, fans are used to the announcer saying the names and everything a certain way all the time. There needs to be consistency. There needs to be, like, the guy that's leaving, you know, even if maybe he, you know, you said he has family issues, so he doesn't have time to teach the next guy what to do. There should be a liaison at the club that's going to tell the new guy, look, when Mertens scores, you say this. When Icardi scores, you say this. Have some energy. Galatasaray is the biggest club in Turkey. Lots of fans in that stadium would love to have that opportunity to be that announcer. And even if it does pay peanuts, you tell me you can't find a guy that has a decent, exciting voice to just announce these call-outs during the game once a week? Like, come on. We need to do better, like, in this regard. because Summit, I'm sure, has more to say about it. But from my understanding, the guy, it's not in day difference between what the guy was doing before and what the new guy is doing.
Look,
That-
I didn't know it could impact an atmosphere so much because this game against Manchester United, he didn't even call up the first 11. Like, how crazy. That's how you
Really?
get in the vibes, bro. That's how we get into the game and into the atmosphere. And he didn't even call up the first 11. Like, insane.
Maybe he was like never like an announcer to begin with. He's just some guy that they found. Can you just like, bro, can you do us a solid and just like
Yeah,
do this job? You know what I mean?
yeah.
And that's unacceptable. But yeah.
Hey, what do you do, man? We can connect with I don't know. We can connect with the stadium and do it ourselves. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing it.
That's what I'm saying,
can have
bro.
Emre,
Like
yeah.
you, Samet, so many fans would love to do that. And they would do it to the T of how it should be done.
Mm.
And this is the guy that they find, no offense to the guy, but like,
But
if
no
you can't do the
offense.
job properly.
To be
then-
devil's advocate, Yasin,
Yeah.
your main guy who's amazing has to leave for a family issue, and the whole club is searching for a guy that can take over. They push the mic into your hands. You have zero experience, and people are shitting on you because you are just trying to do your best. I mean, it sucks that he didn't do the first 11, but couldn't they find this other person? But anyway, yeah, that's probably how the guy feels. Like, he's probably küsmüş olabilir yani.
Maybe.
Could be.
Yeah. No, I've tried to justify it, but even like trying to justify it, I was still like, oh, fuck off. Yeah. Just find
Someone
someone.
tell us about that choreography, bro. Like being there, seeing
Mate,
it in
I had
person.
no clue. Mate, I had no clue. But when you do choreographies, you're lifting a piece of paper and you don't know what it might as well be a dick. And you have no clue what you're lifting up. Like, and then I checked like the little peek I could get, and I saw the cup at Brunei.
The trophy on the other
it's
side,
a trophy. Yeah, okay. Like, I was like, what do we have? You don't see it. And then they show it on the screens, right? So I was like, oh, awesome. Ours is a lion. Looks better. And then the text changed in the stands as well from
Yeah,
this is
bro.
Samian to Welcome to Hell.
Welcome
So it was
to
like
Hell.
amazing.
That was sick.
With
That
the
was sick.
Champions League music. Oh, God.
Yeah, dude, that's incredible, man.
Yeah.
It made headlines as
It did?
well.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw it mentioned in a lot of like English Twitter pages and stuff.
Of
Maybe
course.
even on the news.
Even Rio Ferdinand, he's like, someone asked him, have you been to Istanbul before? Have you experienced this? And he said, yeah, well, I've been to Istanbul, Fenerbahce, Beşiktaş, but never experienced something like this. This is just the best. And like, everyone should acknowledge, we are the best. That's it.
Ferdinand was pretty damn biased though. Like
Was he?
crazy.
What did he say?
Yeah. Oh, United should do this. United should do that.
In general,
You know what I mean?
what, like, okay, let me just quickly say the first 11. Fernando Muslera as usual, Sasha Bowe on the right, Kaan Ayhan, surprisingly, after Davinson Sanchez was called injured, Bardakçı as usual, Angelino on the left, Lucas Torreira and Ndombele in the midfield, Hakim Ziyech on the right, Mertens, and then left Zaha and then Icardi. So, very surprising first 11, right? Like, what's the most surprising there for you?
There's a few. Probably Ndombele starting. Ndombele starting and Nelson not starting. I actually thought that Kaan Ayhan would remain in his center midfield role next to Torreira, and we would finally see Nelson in that center defense
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you think the pecking order is Sanchez, Bardakçı, Nelson, and then Kaan Ayhan, and you think that Kaan Ayhan's better role is the center midfield. You know that Ndombele is not the paciest player, the most aggressive player in the midfield in terms of covering distance. Knowing all this, that was a huge shock to me. And then finally, obviously, another big shock was Kerem not starting and Mertens remaining in his role as starting number 10. We had a discussion about this last time on the pod, back and
Yeah,
forth.
I said that Kerem would start, and to my surprise, he didn't start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what did I say, Yasin? I said that we shouldn't change up the lineup based on the Alanya game, right? I was like, I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't trust this to be a good, like, showcase for us. That's why I didn't really think Mertens needed to start. And I don't know. And the game kind of like showed that, because the first half was kind of bad in our name. Like the game we played against Manchester away, the 2 Bayern games, this was probably one of the worst games we played in Europe so far, I would say. Barring like that 20, 25 minutes, like that sequence against Copenhagen. Like this was our worst game, if you ask me, even though we made it 3-3. But yeah, no, I thought Kerem and at least Nelson would start. And I think that was a mistake, and everyone agrees on that. But yeah, go continue.
No, that's that. What was the vibe at the stadium, Samet? Because I know when you're there, everybody's tempted to look at the phone and discuss with the person next to them what they think of the lineup. I'm sure a lot of people were surprised there as well, right?
Yeah. No, definitely a surprise for Nelson decision, Ndombele decision, and also happiness for seeing Mertens instead of Kerem. So those were the main vibes I could catch. But personally, I think Okan Buruk is giving a message to Nelson. We all know, and this is my opinion, all right? We all know Nelson has been a bit off lately. And with off, I don't only mean on the pitch, but also off the pitch. Off. Because he's been saying some not nice things. And I think this is giving a message to Nelson into saying, look, we made you. And we can just finish you just like that. So get your head together and don't be a bitch.
Yeah, I'm sure he said that.
I'm not saying he said that, but that's the only thing I can think of in terms of why you would choose Kaan Ayhan over a real center back.
I think he got persuaded by the game we played against Alanya, which I really thought that he would like come to his senses and think, yeah, this is Alanya,
games
lads.
Are not measurements. Alanya Sport,
That's what I'm saying.
Pendikspor
That's what
are
I'm
not measurements.
Yes, that's
These
what I'm
are
saying.
not,
That-
like whatever you test, it will be successful against these.
That's
shit
why I
teams.
was so against people starting Mertens, because like I've seen Mertens against big teams and they brought up the Manchester United game away. But again, that was him coming in the second half when United were tired. And you saw from this game, in the United game at home, he was kind of invisible. Like, do you guys remember anything he did that was, impactful to the game? I don't remember much.
I think, it also has to do with the fact that we played against a much stronger and active midfield that United has. And Ndombele, how much of a good job did he do against such a strong midfield like that? Did Mertens have to maybe contribute a little bit more in the help in, the back midfield line next to Torreira and Ndombele because of it? Did it maybe hinder how much he can contribute in the attack because of that?
That's a good point.
That's stuff you have to think about as well. And again, you hit the nail on the head. 1-2 games, especially against Alanyaspor, and then switching to United. These are very small sample sizes, so it's still very tough to be able to make a conclusion where you feel very confident about it. But
yeah, like why would you switch with the working formula, bro?
Yeah,
Like that's one thing I didn't like. I wasn't happy, but I think he might have done it so he can shut people up. Like yaptım. Okay, you happy? Ne oldu? Like that's like what he did, basically.
Well, Angelino was terrible. Well, I think for me that was the main thing. Angelino, I really didn't like seeing him. Also, like the whole stadium, it was insane. It's nothing unlike I've seen anything.
I was gonna
before.
ask you, bro.
They
Like
were
after
doing
we
the
conceded the
change-
first 2 goals,
change sign, change Angelino. That was like everyone was like with their hands making circles. It was insane.
I saw that on Bilal's video, bro. Emre, did you notice that on TV? Because I didn't.
I did not.
And then watching that video, I think Bilal pointed it out at first, and then he changed the clip to you, and you were pointing it out as well. It was super obvious. Everybody in the stands was, to your point, circling their fists around each other like, Hoca, make a change, make a change. That to me is crazy. That really shows that the fans are on a collective agreement that maybe Hoca needs to make some changes quicker. I was listening to some fan conversations after the game as well. They're saying, look, we need to make changes quicker. Hoca, everybody sees it. People watching from TV sees it. People at the stands sees it. Why is Hoca not seeing and making these changes in time? That's definitely something to look out for as we go forward, unfortunately.
It's like, sometimes the people got to remember, you can't just make a switch out of the blue instantly. Like, you got to wait a little bit too, right? See how the game goes. I mean, Angelino was not our biggest issue, if you ask me. Maybe unpopular opinion, he was bad, but I don't think he was the worst. I think Ndombele really screwed our game plan.
I
because
think he was
how
fine,
many times?
in my opinion.
Who, Angelino or Ndombele?
I think the main issue was Kaan Ayhan, if you ask me.
Well,
Why?
okay, their first goal, for example,
Well-
Ndombele couldn't win a fucking air ball against what was it, Bruno Fernandes? I forgot who it was, bro, but he had
Yeah.
all the momentum, and then they just got the ball and went straight to our box. Come on, bro. And that happened multiple times in the game.
Yeah,
Whereas I think Kaan Ayhan would have been much better.
that's the whole thing. That's why I say Kaan Ayhan, because center back, if we had Nelson, Kaan could go in the mid instead of Tanguy and Ndombele, and we'd have the double pivot we used for all our games in the Champions League, basically.
Aynen.
So changing it made our midfield a bit more soft. Kaan has that strength as well there. So against Bruno Fernandes, I'm sure it would have been better on top of Nelson, because what we saw, both goals came from the left side, from Sasha's side, from the corner of Kaan Ayhan. Having Nelson there as a real center back would have made a difference. I'm telling you, it would have definitely.
Nah, I agree. Yeah, don't change the winning formula, man. You've done fine with these two center backs before, Nelson and Apo.
Mm-hmm.
Don't change. Apo made some bad mistakes too in the game. I don't know. People say the third goal especially.
That was all his mistake. It actually really pissed
Right.
me off too. What are you doing attacking, pressing that high? I like the fact that our defenders like to press high. That's how Okan likes our defenders playing as well.
But when you go
they're-
overboard,
Yeah, bro, there was such a huge gap between Abdülkerim and that player. You already know you don't have pace. If you don't win that ball there, we are screwed. And that's what happened. People blamed Angelino, who were you marking in that last position? But he did what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to show one way, try and defend two players at the same time, maybe confuse the guy with the ball. Unfortunately, these United players are they're good quality players. They're not gonna make the mistake of not taking advantage of that position, and that's what they did. So
yeah. You know what pissed me off about Apo the most this game?
Are you talking about the McTominay goal?
yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, you remember that whole karambol position where Torreira got fouled and then it was a handball the ref didn't give, who was, again, terrible this game. If Abdülkerim stayed in the box instead of running towards the referee, he would have actually scored a goal. But instead of staying and going to complain to the ref,
Yeah.
there you go.
Sure.
We couldn't score. Bro, what is with our Turkish players? I think they're just too used to the Turkish league where if you do not run to the ref immediately and complain,
Yeah.
you're not going to get VAR check or anything.
Fully agree. That's the only reason. I mean, that gotta be it. That's gotta be it.
It's bro, you running to the ref and just complaining to him, is it going to make him, okay, man, I'm going to go check it. Don't worry. I got you. All right. No, if there's something to be checked, they will check it. Finish the game, bro.
Mhm.
And he does this so many times.
Yeah.
He wants to be the captain or something. I don't know, man. Just that
But-
really annoyed the hell out of me.
So, first half, Manchester scored 2 goals, right? The first one was Alejandro Garnacho. The guy, the girl, I don't know what he is. Anyway, what I do know he is a big major cunt, because when he scored that goal, he came towards us and he basically put his hand and did almost like a Drogba version, and to say quiet down. And that made everyone go nuts. And I was thinking at that moment, good, do this, you bastard. Do this, because you're going to rile up the whole stadium. looking
Now
at
he
it,
did the whole stadium.
mhm.
He pissed the hell out of Ziyech. You guys see that Ziyech look? It was all over
Yeah.
media, bro. He
Yeah.
gave him the worst stare down.
Yeah,
Like, oh, you want to do that? I got you, bro. He's like, I got you.
you wait and see.
Exactly. Sana gösteririm, right? Like,
I know.
and then proceeds to turn the whole game by himself.
Thanks.
So Garnacho GOAT.
Yeah,
But
beat
yeah.
that. Yeah,
But no, yeah.
not much we could do really. Kaan Ayhan could have done better at that goal, but the second goal, Bruno Fernandes, that was a beauty, man.
That was a banger, bro. There's
Mhm.
literally nothing you can do. Aside, maybe mark him down, not give him a free, shot at goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened right in front of you guys, right? Samet on your side.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Both goals, man. But I saw like a lot of goals, 6 in total, so it's fine.
You had the best seat for Kerem's goal.
Yeah,
Oof.
bro. Great.
Great control, great shot.
Mm-hmm.
And that the goals, our goals, bro, we had such low XG for our
Wait,
goals.
you're
that-
jumping around goals, dude. Like in order, please, Emre. Because after the 2-0 of Manchester, we had Ziyech.
I mean, I did mention
Ziyech.
Ziyech.
The real man of the match was Onana. We have to admit, right?
Yeah,
I think it's over exaggerated, bro. The second goal, yes, but the first goal, nah. That was just good play from us and like poor, man, what the fuck? The word I'm thinking of, the line.
I'm telling you, thank God Ten Hag knows Onana from Ajax, and he's so persistent on him because Altay would have done a much better job.
Yeah, you cannot be worse than Onana right now. Like,
It's
I don't get
insane.
how you can be so bad. Last year, he was like one of the best keepers. This year's like, what? Curse of De Gea or something, bro? What is going on?
Yeah.
Like, he's making De Gea look like a god keeper right now.
So 2 free kick goals from Ziyech and 1 from Kerem. the amazing goal that you just mentioned, Emre.
Yes. What about him?
No, nothing. What did you think of Kerem's attitude towards the fans?
I don't know. Like, I think he was, bro. You could tell this kid is frustrated. He's clearly frustrated because like I'm doing my best, and I'm still getting the most criticism of anybody on the team, right? So, like, I understand where he's coming from, but again, you got to keep your head high and just try your best, because it happens to everybody. When everyone looks to you for goals, you're going to get the most criticism. Like Icardi starting to get some criticism, like, because like this last game he played, he was like basically invisible, right?
What do you
So-
think, Yasin, of Kerem attitude?
Yeah. I mean, some people express disappointment with it, saying that he's, facing up to the fans. I didn't look at it that way. I thought it was pretty well contained. He expressed a message, but I didn't understand it as a message to all fans there in that moment. I understood it as like, to all my doubters, like,
Yeah.
here is what I just did. This is for you. This is to you. Like, he didn't raise his hands. He didn't wave his hands like, the classic Turkish way that when people get mad, they raise their hand up like, oh, what's up, right? Like, he didn't do any of that bullshit.
Or put his
just-
hand to his ears, like, I
Yeah,
can't hear you guys anymore, whatever.
Exactly. I found it respectful. I appreciate that he actually got a message across. Like, sometimes you could argue saying, Yasin, like, if he scored the goal, that's enough to shut the doubters up. No, it's not, because he scores goals, he makes assists, and people still have things to say about him. And as fans, we have every right to say what we want to say. If we want to criticize him, it's not like we criticize him because he's Turkish or because his name is Kerem. We criticize him because we think he could do better, or he's made a lot of mistakes that have cost us points in recent times. We criticize him on the podcast, right? But I think it has been excessive. And to Emre's point, the kid has it more than anybody else. And I do feel bad. Every time I criticize him myself, I do feel bad, because what he's done for this club is extraordinary. You know, we got him from the third league for basically free, and he got punched by Marcal 2 years ago in front of everybody. Like, he has gone through a lot.
Yeah.
And I think his mentality is actually like admirable in a way.
I like the way you put it. Because the other side of this is, he should be grateful of Galatasaray. He has such a big attitude. It's not good. Especially nobody is bigger than Galatasaray or the fans. He should not do this. But the way you put it is so good. Like, I think it's an eye opener for people that think this way, and I appreciate that, Yasin.
Yeah.
And I think Okan Buruk made a good point to the fans too. It's like, all right, can you guys please stop talking about Kerem? You know, when he's not playing, we have a pretty hard time opening up defenses. Yeah. And you can see how active he is, and he creates positions.
But then here we have you guys on the last podcast. Hey, John, where's John at? I want to speak to John and his shitting on Kerem take.
Listen, I'm here, even though John is not. I still am on the fence of like his positioning.
He should not play number 10.
His positioning on the field is, especially at number 10, is not it. You know, it's just not. And I don't want to regurgitate everything we talked about for many, many episodes now, but that's just not where he excels. And I thought all of us did a really good job on the last episode describing why. You know, number 10 is how he plays, whoever number 10 is, affects how everybody else around him plays as well. And when you're trying to score goals, when you're a team like Galatasaray who counts on your offense because of the pure domination and skill difference between the players on the pitch, offense is where you shine. When Galatasaray plays against teams like, you know, Alanyaspor, Pendikspor, any team in the Turkish league, you don't necessarily go and praise your defense because they're oftentimes more quiet. You praise your offense. And if your number 10 stops your offense from playing the way that they should, that person's going to get criticism. Rightfully so. So we saw him work really well on the wing for the last couple of seasons. That's where he needs to stay. That's all I can really say about that.
Well, I don't know what Zaha thinks about that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Zaha, I think, really appreciated having Mertens at number 10 last week. We talked about the heat map and how much space Mertens allowed Zaha to have on the left side.
Did you think that translated to Manchester game?
Not necessarily, only because Manchester is a much more disciplined team compared to Alanyaspor and any other Turkish league team. Also because, as I mentioned before, the midfield of Manchester United is just much, much, much better. Mertens was not allowed to do what he did against Alanyaspor in terms of positioning and opportunity creating because Ndombele, I think, was a weakness in the midfield, a clear weakness. And I'm kind of jumping around too now, but we talked about Bardakçı and how he unnecessarily pushed up to midfield for press. Who was playing in front of Bardakçı throughout
Ndombele.
Ndombele. Because Ndombele was not in his position, pressing where he needs to, marking his man like he needs to, Bardakçı made a mistake because of it. You know, again, it's Bardakçı's fault, but you have to think about the grand scheme of it as well. This is why I always mention the players around you is really indicative of how you can or cannot play as well. So this applies to your midfield too. Lucas Torreira, this applies to Ndombele. So hopefully Hoca, I'm sure, is seeing all this as well. I'm curious how this is going to work out for Ndombele in his future at Galatasaray. For the
I don't
next
think he
6
stays.
months.
Honestly, it's kind of
so
sad when Sergio Oliveira, the guy who I criticize the most, comes in and does better than you. It's kind of telling that you're not going to stay. Along with Angelino, I think both of them will be sent in some fashion. Both of them are loanies anyway.
Exactly. And let me ask you guys this, right? Ndombele, 6 months so far, right? 6 of the 12 months that we have him on loan. Has he shown any indication that he is a player that can play consistently? No.
Not really. I see improvement, but like not enough in the time that he's been given.
Exactly. Is it a player that you can count on? Let's say he plays well for the next 6 months. Can you count on him? Let's say we sign him on a 3 or 4 year deal. Can you count on him being consistent for the next 3-4 years?
No.
I say no. Exactly. And on top of that, the last piece is he a player that you can comfortably spend 15 million on?
Absolutely no.
Absolutely not. You can maybe negotiate that down with Tottenham. Say, look,
Yeah, free, bro.
even then, his wages are, I don't even know what they are going to be if we sign him full time, but they're going to be too damn high for what he provides. We see Kaan Ayhan and what he provides. The yabancı kuralı, the foreigner limit, is not changing from any indication that we've seen so far. So that's not a risk that you really take.
Yasin, the only reason we have Ndombele is because we couldn't get someone else, and then they use Ndombele as a compensation for not getting anyone. Because what Okan Buruk was what I hear, wants someone like Paredes, wants someone like Vecino, someone that can hold that midfield.
Double
Fred,
pivot. Yeah.
yeah, who can hold that midfield and let Torreira be the man that plays 8 along with a number 10.
We pay him 3.1 million for the season.
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
Sometimes no.
Yeah, sometimes you pay a lot of money for a player and wages, and even if they're consistent, they win you a couple games, and you say it was worth it. Example, Tete. The kid still has to prove himself, honestly. He gets paid a lot for what he does, which, the ratio is not quite right, but he won us a couple games.
I think 1 or 2.
Yeah, he got his points against Copenhagen in the clutch in the last minute. Other games as well. Zaha, he started off rough, but he has definitely won as many points so far. Important games as well, and he's finding his groove. You see the passion from Zaha on the pitch. Every person doesn't necessarily, every player doesn't necessarily have to play with the same passion that Zaha does. But in comparison, look at Ziyech. Ziyech is one cold ass motherfucker, bro. The dude does not show an ounce of the passion Zaha does in terms of like aggression, but you see that he's interested. You see him really finding his groove lately. He loves the game. And Ndombele is cleaning his teeth before the game starts. Like that's what Ndombele is doing. I hate to be over exaggerating
Getting the burgers out.
criticism of him, but come on, man. Like, you have this skill. We sound like Tottenham fans now. Like, oh yeah, he's really skilled, but he doesn't show it. Like, I hate it. Even after he comes to Florida, he still is like this. If the Florida water is not going to fix him, I don't know what is.
He's allergic to the Florida water. It's not going to work for him.
But the thing, he's not drinking his 2 liter a day Florida water. I think he's just doing like 250 ml. That's the problem. He needs to drink at least 2 liters. That's the regimen.
He's one of those people who eat more than they
drink.
Yeah.
Oh god. Anyway, this game we also had 2 important decisions. The referee is Spanish. Previously we were effed over by a Portuguese one. So now it's a Spanish dude that, what did he not do? He didn't give the offside, well, according to him, offside goal of Icardi. So we didn't get to sing Aşkım Olayım in the stadium, unfortunately. And there was another position. Oh yeah, a penalty. Also not given. I think, was it McTominay or Lindelof or Maguire? I don't know.
I think it was McTominay.
Yeah. What do you guys think of that? Let's start
That's
with
a penalty, if you ask me. Clear and simple. It's a penalty. Yo, you extended your arms, bro. And I think that might have gone in. And also, they didn't show, but like, Onana kind of screwed over Torreira too. That could have been a penalty. But everyone just glanced over that. I don't know, man. It's like they really want United to be second place. I know it's like a conspiracy theory almost, but goddamn, bro. Like,
almost.
Yeah.
But almost because, like, bro, what is this? Like 2 games back to back? By neighboring countries too?
Especially
like,
the VAR and the technology they used, drawing a wall digitally to see that what?
Yeah, apparently VAR wasn't working in the Bayern game for Harry Kane's goal.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, there's still things being messed up. And I don't know how to feel about this technology. I thought it was good, but then again, like, how
It
do you?
screws you?
How do what?
When it screws you, you don't like it, right?
No, it's like it made me think. Now it made me think. Like, how do you decide when the ball leaves the foot? Like, what are the millimeters, and like, how do they do that? Like, I need to know.
I saw a proposal. I don't know who it was, but like if it's within a certain distance, even if it's offsides, they're going to
Margin.
count it because, yeah, like
That will be
this-
abused, bro. That will be abused. No, don't bring that.
Then Fenerbahce will have all their offside goals counted.
Exactly. No.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Then we'll be discussing what is this margin? 5%, 10%, 25%? A leg,
true.
a foot?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always
So
going to be an issue.
no, don't bring that.
Anyway, even with
Well,
those
yeah.
two bad calls, we still managed to get an important
That's
1
important,
point.
right?
Yeah.
That's the important part. We came back from 3-1. That's like a big team reflex right there.
Amazing. Amazing how we keep coming back.
Came back
Um,
from 3-1 and 2-0. Am I right? It was 2-0
Exactly.
at one point. That
in
and
Copenhagen.
it seems to be a theme. You know, that's what I really like about Galatasaray this year. Actually, last 2 years.
It's not over.
Historically, when we fall behind, it seems like
It
it's
was
game
like
over.
a wrap, bro. It used to be a wrap. 4-0, 5-0.
Yeah.
Now
Again, it was
we-
no Nordsjælland or Club Brugge, but
Yeah.
it'd be Bayern. Not, it would be like Madrid or PSG or something.
Mhm.
And now the belief is there. Copenhagen 2-0 and 2-2 could have made it 3-2, right? The first game, Manchester United, we were behind 3 times, I think, and that finished a win. No, it was 2 times, right? So huge props to Okan Buruk, the team, and our captains on the pitch that really instill that belief that even if we do fall behind, we can still catch up and win. So that's great to see.
Yeah, 100%. Should we get into the Pendik game, boys?
I want to talk about like what this 1 point means for us as well.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't get this 1 point, what would it mean? That we didn't have things in our control, right? With this 1 point, everything is now in our hands. We only have to win against Copenhagen. If
Only have to win.
Let's put it this way. If you saw this group, Bayern, United, Copenhagen, and I told you in the beginning, here's an offer for you. You only have to win Copenhagen, and then you get out of this group. Would you take it?
Absolutely.
I guess.
I'm not saying you need to win Bayern. I'm not saying you need to win United. I'm saying everyone was like, okay, Copenhagen is the worst team out of this thing. So I'm saying now, win Copenhagen and you're out of the groups. That's amazing. That's great, right?
That's a huge point. That's a great perspective, honestly.
Let's just not glance over the fact that Copenhagen tied Bayern away. Okay, so their defense is pretty good. All right, you can argue Bayern didn't put out their best XI, but it's still Bayern. Their best XI still is worth like 5 times what Copenhagen is worth, and they couldn't find many positions. And now think that we have to go on their turf and have to open them up because you know they're going to be parking the bus like crazy. And
Bro.
we kind of have a hard time opening up defenses.
We didn't do bad against Bayern's first 11 either. I mean, played 20 games against Bayern.
They don't play the same as Copenhagen, though. They play a different game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with Emre. I think Copenhagen is going to go into that game saying a tie is enough. And we saw the first leg how disciplined they really are defensively. And again, we struggle against teams that sit back. It's going to be a balancing act. I don't know if Okan Buruk is going to approach this game, maybe allowing them to attack a little bit more and count on our defense to be disciplined and clear what we need to clear so we can attack on the counters with maybe Kerem or Zaha. Or if we're going to straight up say, okay, you want to sit back, we'll attack and we'll use players that can pull a rabbit out of a hat like Zaha or Ziyech and count on Mertens to shoot outside the box and test the keeper more than they tested Onana. But I think that is how it would honestly go.
We're going to, Ziyech or someone shooting from outside the box to find a goal. I think that's like the only way we open up that game.
Yeah, and we really do have the skill set to do it. You know, we just have to have that belief. I think our next game, the one before Copenhagen, we really have to go into that game with the mindset of, okay, treat this as if it's going to be the Copenhagen game. Like test what you need to test. Shoot from outside the box, you know, dial in your shot. So when it's next game against Copenhagen, you are ready to take those shots from distance. And we saw it today. Yes, it was today. Was Ziyech against Pendikspor. We'll talk about that as well. But we saw it with Mertens against United. I think it was Alanyaspor. I'm mixing up my games now, but we're starting to see those shots from distance. So that's reassuring.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Ziyech is great with that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Ziyech scored another today, so maybe we can finally get into the Pendik game. If you guys have nothing else to say about the United game?
No, I'm going to Copenhagen and I need a ticket. So if anyone's listening and got the connections, hook me up. I'm desperate. Yeah, it's next week. So yeah,
Samet, will there be a lot of fans like
Bro,
you
it's
attending,
insane.
going
It's insane.
that don't have tickets?
yes, and that's why my worry is going up and up and up, and I don't have 500 euros to pay for a single ticket. So
You can pull that 500 euros from somewhere, bro. It's just a matter of, is it worth it or not for you?
it's worth it, but I don't have it.
Phone a friend, bro.
Yeah, sure. You can pay it for me, Yasin.
Nice.
Let's go to Pendik, shall we?
Yeah.
Because Pendik is super shit in terms of field, because that's where a lot of people get injured. But somehow today it was fine. And how did we start? Well,
It was not fine, but
yeah,
okay.
it's all right.
Because
Nobody
Khan got injured.
Oh, yeah?
Khan, did you not see? He like pulled something on his left leg.
Okay. Yeah, that's how boring the game was, honestly.
Everyone was watching the draws for the Euros.
Yeah, that's what happened.
What happened with the draws? I didn't catch that.
Some lady was getting smashed in the background. I don't know if our listeners caught that.
Oh, yeah? Like, that's
Yeah.
not what I was asking. I was like, who did we draw as Turkey? But
I just wanted to point that out. It's kind of funny.
okay. Lady was getting
We
smashed.
We drew basically the
Porch.
2008 groups all over again.
Don't leave me
But,
hanging. Tell me.
Portugal and Czech Republic so far.
Okay. Gonna play Ronaldo?
Ah, yeah.
Nice.
We'll
That's a good
see.
question. We
Kerem
probably
versus
will,
Ronaldo,
right?
man. Nice.
But yeah, no, we don't know the last one just yet. Apparently, we're gonna find out after the playoffs.
Playoffs, which is going to be one of the following four teams, either Kazakhstan,
Mhm.
Greece,
Mhm.
Luxembourg,
Mhm.
or Georgia.
Okay, just don't give me
Yeah.
Greece.
I think that might be fun.
Yeah, true. And there's some competition there, so yeah, give us Greece. We can smash them, just like
Yeah.
when the draw was happening.
Yeah. My company has an office in Greece with like, I want to say probably close to 100 people.
Okay.
So if we do match up against Greece, there's a couple people I might have to message or on our weekly call wear like
Okay.
a Milli Takım jersey.
Nice. All right, enough national team stuff. We're Galatasaray Podcast, so let's go to Pendikspor. Major difference in the lineup is Nelson's back. I guess he had a good talk with Okan. He said, "I'm sorry, Okan. You're right. I'm nothing. You're the best. Galatasaray is the best. Please take me back in the squad." Or Abdulkerim just needed some rest, and that's why Kaan Ayhan and Victor Nelson were as center backs. Kazımcan did the same to Okan. He said, "I'm sorry, master. Please, your dick is big. Let me back and play." And Kazımcan was on the left back. Sacha Boey doesn't say anything. He's just there as always. I don't know. He's like part of the furniture now. Torreira as well. And then a difference with Sergio Oliveira after a good performance in the substitution. He's in. And then we got Tete on the right, Ziyech as 10, Kerem on the left wing, and Icardi as always. Interesting stuff. what did you think of the lineup when you saw it? I was like, yeah, go full on youth. If you ask me, Pendikspor. Who is that?
I think we did too much rotation, if you ask me.
Too much? Why? I mean,
A little too much.
You need to rest people.
Well, okay, you need to rest people, but again, like, why not keep Ziyech? Okay, if you're gonna start with Ziyech, start with Mertens again, right? Ziyech was good, but I didn't see the same amount of, play from him that he has on the right wing. Maybe he just needs to get adjusted to it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't know. I don't think we needed to do this much in terms of rotation, but I heard that Apo played with a needle last game, so I guess I can't be too upset about it.
What is this
But
needle thing? Do they do
I
this
don't
in
understand
Europe?
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
Is it
where
illegal?
he learned this, man?
I don't know.
No,
It's
is
weird.
it numbs some of the pain that you have,
Yeah.
which essentially allows you to play through it.
Mhm.
It's not ideal because the pain, source of the pain, is not going away because you play on it. You just don't feel it.
Mhm.
And I remember that they said the same thing about Icardi too, right? He played several games with needle, and they said, look, if he needs to get better, if he wants to get better, he actually needs to rest.
Mhm.
And that's why we kind of counted on the international break for that rest time period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Abdulkarim resting, I totally understand that you really don't have a choice
Okay.
if you want him to get back.
What about Boe? Like at this point, it looks like Boe is like playing for stats. I was like, he's probably
Stats, he can't seem to get up.
No, what I mean is like stats in terms of like I've played 100,000 games this season with an average of 7.5. Like, okay, awesome. I mean, I
Kudos.
love him. Still good.
He's not getting those points on Sofa. He's constantly getting like 6.5s and stuff because he cannot connect with our attackers when he gets into the box.
I think he's just unlucky. I think every game he has at least one very clear scoring position, like he had at Pendik. If the guy didn't like touch the ball, it would have gone in.
Well, there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts, but like
Mm-hmm.
you got
That's
to
football.
get some assists. The amount of times you be going into that box, bro. Come on.
Yeah, true. But yeah, and he had Tete, right? And Tete is actually, I like him defensively. He's a work rate, like he's a workhorse. So he's doing a good job. But what I'm missing from Tete is he's Brazilian, but there's no samba in this guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He looks
doesn't
like
have
a
that
German.
flair.
Yeah, he's like a German, go up and down the road and like no samba.
I don't know, man. He's one of those players that I just didn't really have any hope in. I was saying I hope he comes through, but I'm a Richardson man. What were you saying, Yasin?
God.
No, I mean, I think we saw a little bit of Brazilian flair to Tete when he first came, and unfortunately, it was not fine-tuned, so he was losing the ball a lot, and I think Hoja said, take it easy a little bit before you continue to use your Brazilian flair. Maybe you need to focus on not turning the ball over as much. I'm not sure. Just kind of like a guess here, but I think he needs a little bit of time. Honestly, he seems happy off the pitch. He's chilling with people in Istanbul. He seems happy. There's a lot of competition in that role. I expect after year one, this year, next year, he should be noticeably better. I expect him to make that jump. In the meantime, fortunately for us, we do have options in that position. And today's performance kind of gives us more reason that maybe that's why he's not a starter, right? I agree with you guys. I think he can be doing better in that position.
Yeah, I think he screwed up when he didn't pass to Kerem when Kerem was like wide open.
So pissed. He was so pissed, Kerem.
Icardi was pissed too. Icardi was shaking his head.
Yeah? Oh, gee. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he got subbed out.
Like Icardi is like, what? You didn't pass to my homeboy? Shaking his head?
Icardi looked frustrated this game too. He was not getting any service whatsoever.
I mean, he hasn't been good the past 2 games, honestly.
That's true. I don't know. I think that needle issue, that whole thing kind of like did drop his form quite a bit. So I think we made a pretty big mistake there. I think Okan learn from his mistake and he's not like forcing Apo to play either.
Mm-hmm.
Even though this is Pendik we're talking about.
Brings me to Bakambu then.
Exactly.
And people have been shitting unnecessarily, I think.
That's what I
Bakambu as
said,
well.
bro.
Yeah.
I said it, bro. I said you all got to give him a little bit more time.
Yeah,
Bro,
Just
we
the
are
beginning of the
so
season,
good.
bro.
People are looking for places to shit at. That's the whole thing. They're looking for scapegoats. And that can be Kerem, that can be Bakambu, that can be Kazımcan. Like they're just
Well,
doing
Kazımcan has been absolute trash, though. You can't.
the
like,
past
deny
few
it.
games, honestly. But the other
Yeah.
25 games that we've seen him play, he was great. So whatever has
know what's up
happened
with
to him,
Kazımcan,
I don't
man.
know, he got a girlfriend or something? Because that's usually what gives downfall to these guys. We've seen many. I mean, come on, look at the opposition. Pendikspor, we know Erencan. He's a Galatasaray player. We know Halil Akbunar. He was at Göztepe, right? We were going to buy him. But yeah, I see their Instagram pages full of women. So just saying, man.
I don't know. Maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Olcan.
But,
You
yeah.
see, check his Instagram page. I'm telling you. It's all women. His women.
Olcan?
Yeah.
Which
Which
one?
Olcan?
Çağlayan.
Çağlayan?
Yeah, bro.
He's married.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
What? All right, no girlfriends, no wives.
Yeah.
Stay away from females.
You got to be celibate.
You hear that, Kerem?
Astaghfirullah.
Well, then okay. So Kerem stays away from that,
Yeah.
and he's
good.
been on a downfall. So
Well, no. He's going up. I'm telling you.
All right.
Anyway, Pendik game, it's good.
We gave Samet too much space here.
Yeah, sure.
and then, bro, just
Do you
taking
really
it
want to
like,
talk about Pendik game? It has no relevancy.
There
I
was
guess
nothing to talk
everyone
about, man.
listening
There was
to
nothing
us
to
is
talk
here for no
about.
reason.
What did you say?
There's nothing to talk about this game. It was
Exactly.
boring as hell.
Yeah.
I don't know what we were doing
Ziyech
70-80% of the time. Ziyech scored a banger. Good for him, man. It's
Mhm.
funny because he got subbed like right after he scored. That was pretty funny.
You know what did happen though? Okan Buruk created something out of nothing, out of by. Kazımcan was so bad that he used a right winger to play left back.
Oh shit! Of course. But that's the thing. So we don't need the left back this game, apparently.
It doesn't matter though. Attack wise, he was 10 times better than Kazımcan.
Of
And
course
you
he's
say
gonna
this is
be.
Pendik, right?
He's an attacker.
Okay. What is Kazımcan? He's a football player, right? Oh, I'm just gonna sit back and do nothing, bro. You guys can play. I'm just gonna be a present. Is that what you know? Why do we get Angelino? Because he's supposedly a good attacker, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, then. What's your argument here? You're making no sense. I'm sorry, but it's like you make. Oh, he's an attacker. Yes, and
That's why he's better at attacking. What the hell are you talking about?
Look, at the end of the day, we were playing against Pendikspor, who were shit all fucking game. They lost the ball every other time they got it. They barely attacked us. If it wasn't for Erencan Yardımcı, they would be useless up top. He was the only threat there. Okan Buruk saw this at halftime. He said it's 0-0. We're not creating shit, and we're also not really getting into risk defensively. We might as well go all out. Kazımcan is not playing a great game. We don't know what he's exactly doing. Let's switch to formation. He put in Barış there. And Barış played left back, but not really. You know, was he left wing back, left back, or was he like a second winger, left winger? Every time he got the ball, it was at half field, and he just brought it up excellently. By the way, he would beat his defender with his pace and strength, put in a hard drilled ball into the midfield, to the box, and hope we score. So he did a great job there. But can you necessarily count on him to be a actual left back against more difficult teams like I say Adana Demirspor? Are we going to do that against them?
I mean,
Questionable.
seeing how Kazımcan is defending, he's letting Halil Akbunar go through him every single time, and most of the positions that they got close to getting has been from his side. And not to mention, he just cannot produce anything with Kerem. In the second half, Barış just completely like destroyed their right back to the point where Halil had to come back and help, defend against Barış. And honestly, okay, yes, Pendik wasn't really attacking, but he did enough defensively. He held the line pretty well along with the defenders. I'm not saying this you go and use him against Copenhagen or anything, but in the league you might have to, because it's clear that you're not going to get Angelino. I think Angelino's GG's, man. I don't know what you guys think, but we're going to probably find another left back in January.
Seems like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd be fine for anything below 1 million. 6 million is just too much for Angelino at this point. So,
and I think Angelino's fine. He's like, all right, you guys, we're not, meshing. And then Okan sees that. And I think they made a deal. Like, listen, I'm not going to play you in the league, but I will play you in the Champions League, so you can kind of show yourself off.
Yeah.
And have some people, potentially
Honestly,
buy you.
I'm happy with Leo Dubois even, if we can get him back.
Yeah, Dubois, man. I think
It's a shame.
Why did we send him away? Because defensively he's okay, but attack wise he's not it, right?
I liked him. Honestly. In general, overall, always good. Scored a few
Who was
goals.
the last good left back we had, bro?
Riera.
Well, it's Telles.
He was
Tejas.
also Tejas, yeah, sure, of course, after him. But yeah, no.
Bro,
Go ahead.
almost a decade and we still can't find a damn left back. How sad is that?
Yeah.
I think Nagatomo was all right, but nothing to write home about. He was just solid.
I loved Nakatomo as well. I don't know.
Yeah. Japanese pride.
Aynen.
Love my Japanese people.
Harikiri.
Shout out to y'all.
Also, another info. So we won against Pendik 2-0. This is Okan Buruk's 40th victory. And he's led the team basically to, another win in his 50th Super League game. So
With 5 ties and 5 losses in total.
Exactly. 40 wins, 5
Hocam.
5 losses. That's amazing stats. That's an amazing stat. And Hakim also after the game today said, I scored, but of course it wasn't the best performance. From a personal standpoint, we struggled a bit in the first half. They had a compact structure, very defensive. Sometimes you just need to try from a distance, and that's how we found the second goal. So good stuff. That makes us now leaders again ahead of Fenerbahce with 1 match played more. That's 37 points. Fenerbahce at 34 points, and they will play, is it Sivasspor on Monday?
Sivasspor, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. So,
And then they play Beşiktaş after that.
I'm telling you, they never do well against Sivasspor, even though they're like brothers.
Well, Riza Çalınbay is not there anymore, so
True that.
that might change.
True that. So we're gonna see.
And we play Adana when they play Beşiktaş, so that week a lot of things can change.
Yeah, well, before Adana, we're playing Copenhagen, right?
Copenhagen's after Adana.
Oh, is it?
Pretty sure. Let me check.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, Adana and then Copenhagen.
Oh, damn. All right.
4 days between the 2 games.
Can't wait. So, yeah, let's get to the predictions part.
Well, I'll see myself out.
Yeah, all right.
Adana, how did they do today? They were losing last I looked. Let me see real quick.
On my end, I've seen Adana play against Sivasspor, and all the time I was wondering, oh my God, is this football? Like, neither of the teams were showing anything. But then I was
Same
like,
thing happened against Fenerbahce too. I watched a little bit of that game.
yeah.
Adana were terrible.
Oh, yeah? So I think we're going to smash them.
I mean, I hope so.
And Adana is currently 4th place, which brings them in the top rankings, right? So I don't know. We'll see.
They're in 4th, but they haven't won a game since October 28th. They tied Sivas, they tied Fener, they tied Kayseri. They lost to Samsun today, 3-2 at home, like at Adana.
Insane.
So they're not in good form. Kind of a scary thing too, because they're gonna really want a win, and what better way to get back to winning than winning at Galatasaray in Istanbul? So
Mhm.
I think it's going to be tough, but I think we'll beat them due to just quality difference. So I predict a 3-1 win.
I need at some point we need to like make big difference. So I'm gonna say finally we're gonna have a 4-0 win.
Shit.
Against
Finally?
Adana? I don't know about that.
Yeah, well after Alanya was given, right? But this is gonna be a 4-0 as well.
Okay.
Hey, and Copenhagen. I just want that revenge, man. I hate that goalkeeper.
Yeah, me too,
Grabara?
man. Me too.
I'm not gonna do predictions against Copenhagen. I'm
Well,
going there.
we'll do-
Hopefully, I'll get a ticket, and hopefully, I'll see that shit face fucker of a goalkeeper.
Yasin, look how privileged they are. They don't even have tickets, and they're still gonna go to Denmark because they can.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's my
For like 50
daughter's
bucks.
birthday as well, so that's gotta have meaning, man. Parkend Stadium, my daughter's birthday, a win, getting out of the group stage. Ah, that's all I want. Baby.
UEFA Cup was won there.
Yeah. That's
Samet, when are you going?
well on the day of, so 12/12.
So we're gonna have another podcast next weekend, so we can always do predictions for that game then, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
All
We
right.
still have
Yeah.
another game.
Oh, you want to
Man, just
close it
completely
off,
skipping over.
Emre?
Nah, you do it.
No. You
The
must
host
be
gotta
used to
do
it
it.
now, though.
I mean, okay, sure.
But before we go, Ratatatata, Galatasaray, Mauro Icardi. Oh God.
All right, lads, gentlemen, gentlewomen, thank you. This has been episode 72 of The Lion's Den. Done for you guys, done for the community. We'd like to thank you for joining once again. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at The Lion's Den GS on Twitter and Instagram. Send us whatever you want, questions, love for us. We take it all. We
Dick
take it all
pics.
in. No, not that. But yeah, if you want to join our Discord, you can message us. We'll send you a invite and we'll give you the very special treatment. We give everyone the GOAT status. Yes, you can do that as well. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Take care and peace out.
See y'all on the next one.
Take care.
Mauro Icardi, el patrón, Mauro Icardi, el goleador.